Okay, so what you're watching there, a video filmed in a women's bathroom. The person there on screen identifies as a trans girl, a biological male. The video filmed by Payton McNabb, who, if the name sounds familiar, you might recall this really terrifying moment. She was then a high school volleyball player who suffered a serious injury after competing against a biological male on the other team who identified as a female. She suffered from permanent brain damage, that's what she says, including a brain bleed and permanent whiplash after the player hit her in the head with the volleyball at 70 miles an hour.
But now she's getting spiked again, if you will, by left-wing policies. McNabb saying this: her sorority, Delta Zeta, allegedly kicked her out after filming that video that we just watched. McNabb receiving a letter from the organization, and it's on your screen, claiming the video and her action go against their anti-bullying policy. The letter reads in part, quote, "Your membership will be terminated effective immediately. This decision is the result of a previously granted appeal. The decision is final and there is no additional opportunity for appeal," unquote. So let's bring in Payton McNabb. Join us now to talk about this. Payton, thank you so much for coming on. And I want to get to your health condition and how you're doing today in just a moment. But can you briefly break down what happened in that moment with the bathroom, and then how your sorority got tied into this?
Yeah, well, I walk out of the women's restroom on my campus and I turn and see a fully grown man who later I found out is almost 30 years old. And he's in a dress in my bathroom and it's just me and him. And it just put me in this complete state of shock. I was so uncomfortable and could not believe this was happening to me. But, I wasn't just going to act like it's okay and smile at him and leave. So I just decided to ask him, why he was in there, video it for my safety, and post it for awareness, because I had no idea this was happening on my campus, and a lot of other girls didn't either, which I came to find out later. But my sorority, Delta Zeta, kicked me out. They wasted no time. Kicked me out shortly after. I was under trial, of course, by the university for 9 months, but the sorority, that deal took no time at all, and they got me out of there because I made them look bad.
Wow. A women's sorority is kicking out a member because of a video filmed of a biological male in a women's bathroom. This is where we are today in 2025. Payton, these are people who are supposed to be, your friends, your sorority sisters, and that was the reaction. Did they even want to hear your perspective or how uncomfortable you felt?
No, they disregarded all of that completely, and all they wanted from me was an apology. They offered me to take an online course to know how to better post on social media. Of course, I declined both of those because I'm not sorry. I shouldn't have to be sorry. There was a grown man in my bathroom, but I'm not going to beg to be a part of something that doesn't want me, and especially since this is a foundation of sisterhood that was built on empowering women and pushing women up, and that is just not what happened at all. They completely sided with a man who has, his own problems. He has a false reality and thinks he's a woman. They're siding with him, who he had no relation to the sorority at all. Like, it literally had nothing to do with them, but they decided to get involved so they could be as far away from it as possible. So, it's heartbreaking, but that's just the way it is now. And this isn't just happening to me. I've already found out this is happening to girls across all sororities, and in Delta Zeta, but across all campuses. So it's sad, but our Greek life is being ruined by this woke agenda.
Yeah. So this person in the bathroom that you recorded on video, not affiliated with your sorority, a 30-year-old male dressed in a dress in your bathroom. You're shedding light on it, and yet you are the one that's punished. And what that does is silences other women from coming forward. Like you said, there are others. Now, who else would shed light on a 30-year-old man in a dress walking into and using a women's facility? They're not going to do it because they know maybe they would lose their privileges somewhere else, or maybe they would get kicked out of their sorority, or perhaps one of the teams that they play on. It really is disheartening.
Information. truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.